Valken presents the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, sponsored by Enola Gay and Elite Force. The Debrief is the most interactive airsoft podcast online, and it comes to you each week in glorious high-definition resolution. Enjoy many experiences, including our energetic hosts, interactive polls, special guests, live caller hotline, event announcements, and video premieres. And be sure to check out the Falcon Alliance, which offers many benefits including airsoft team sponsorships. The Debrief also broadcasts live from many locations worldwide, from California in the United States and all the way to Germany and Western Europe. It's also easy to get your airsoft event on the show by just sending us a Facebook event link. And if you miss any broadcasts, you can catch the rewind on SoundCloud or YouTube. And please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for your Valken Debrief.
Hey guys, it's Chris from Enola Gay, and it's time for Valken Debrief Live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Airsoft Debrief.
Live?
Live?
Kind of live?
Yeah, why is that doing that?
We have a small... honestly, I think if we just unplug and plug the camera back in, it might fix that.
You think so?
I mean, that's the first step of troubleshooting anything. I'm going to hit it next. That's the second step.
You're going to hit it next?
And then third is cursing at it loudly, but your children are nearby, so I don't want to jump to that one right away. Hey guys, what's up? We're having a small camera issue right now because of, the apocalypse is going on, as we're all living through it every day. So yeah, we're just going to take 1 second to try and fix this, and you might see us, and if not, we'll just put Kaid's face up there, and you can stare at him the whole show. It'll be fun. Be super fun.
Still didn't do it. Let's see.
That fix it?
No.
Did you turn it off and turn it back on?
Let's switch it to this one. See what happens.
Other shot? Okay. Oh, that one's working. We're just
working.
Really... See if you switch back. See if it figures it out.
See if it switches back?
Yeah.
Hey... We're getting taken over by the virus.
Oh, hey! See, you just had to turn it off and turn it back on. Didn't even have to curse at it or hit it. So we went through step one. Hey, guys. So we're here. Actually visible. We're sitting down today. Are we over here today?
Yeah, we're over here.
We're sitting down. This is a little weird. Why do we always have the upper shot? Do we never have the lower shot from below?
No, never want the lower shot.
Why not with that? Because we should experiment with that. I think it's something new in television that no one's tried before.
And that's super panned out. Let's see if we can.
Can we crop that in there?
Yeah,
all right. So who has joined us? Oh, who has joined us already? So it's the usual crowd: Doug Smith, Timmy Green, Rich Gully has joined us, and for all of you who are playing along with Rich tonight. The word of the night is legend. That's legend. The word of the night is legend.
And we're not going to explain what it is, because if you don't know...
You don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, hey, the lights came on camera out of nowhere. So that's how we know if the camera's working or not. The lights are on.
Exactly.
I learn something new about our technology every day. Who else is here? Oh, Cameron Gully showed up. We have the entire Gully clan.
Johnson.
Well, if Rot didn't represent in the chat today, I think Kaid would put the smackdown on.
Patrick Daly is asking if we have a picture of the back of Kaid's head.
What's on with the back of Kaid's head?
I don't know. We'll have to.
Was there an accident of some kind?
We'll have to look for that.
Oh.
Whoa. No. Jason Bagsby has come out of hiding to watch the show tonight.
Wait. I haven't seen that dude in like 2 or 3 years.
I know.
What has he been up to? Has he been... Jason, have you been out of the scene for a while? Like, what have you been up to, man? I'd like to go and shoot plastic with you again. You're one of the good guys.
So, this is the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number...
Oh, we're at 21. 221?
121.
121. We'd be 221 if we were Gorilla. So it's 121.
Yes,
we're getting there. We're catching up.
I am the Kaiju, the Supreme Commander of the Valken Alliance, and to my right, your left...
This is Peltast, Lord Fuzzyface, Lord of the Shire. A few announcements for the Shire. We are adhering to social distancing, But don't worry, the Shire CDC is working very hard with the WHO, and we will have vaccine and some preventive measures coming your way soon.
And actually, this is like two images cropped together. We're not actually this close.
We distanced.
Yeah.
See, if I stick my hand out, it'll go around the other side of the picture, and it'll touch him right here. See?
So we have a tradition here on the show. The Overachiever of the night, which is the first person that comments in the live chat while we are live, 50 exposure bucks goes to.
Oh, do I have to announce it? Can we just guess in the chat who it is? Because it's Ethan. Oh wait, I gave it away too.
Yeah,
didn't I? Just right away gave it away. But yeah, high five. Let me figure out where the graphic is. I'm not in my normal spot.
Way to go,
Ethan. Way to go. Always a reliable dude. High five. And we haven't got to ever meet Ethan in person. So I'm hoping that we might actually get to play some Airsoft this year. So we might meet some people like him in person this year. Because I haven't done any actual Airsoft road tripping yet this year. Have you?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, we both went to SHOT Show.
That's like work. That's not,
Yeah, true.
I mean, SHOT Show is fun, but like events, and don't tell Gino I said this, they're not work. It's fun. It's pure fun. You're on the road with your buddy.
Hey, Guardian's
you're hanging
watching.
out. You're watching movies. You're hanging out with the coolest group of people in the world, which is the Airsoft community. And you're getting paid to do it. And you're getting paid to talk Airsoft the whole time. So, I mean, that's just pure fun. Like, those are vacations as far as I'm concerned. Don't tell my wife.
Hey, we got Jerry Ross from Guerrilla Airsoft and Guerrilla Airsoft Radio.
How's it going, Jerry?
Doug Smith from the Midwest region. It's 8 o'clock on a Thursday, the regular crowd shuffle. Man, we're at 48.
We might have to give something away in 2 people, don't we?
I want to give away a grenade because there's nothing like giving away a grenade during a virus pandemic.
Do we have any noise-making grenades? Because I think
We do.
they'd be a lot of fun for around the house.
A Cyclone or an XL Burst from
Yeah,
Airsoft Innovations.
something that makes a lot of noise would be a lot of fun to have around the house when
would.
you're stuck with your wife and kids. Great way to keep them on their toes,
So if you are also practicing social distancing, but you feel a little isolated, you
Come
can
be
give us,
isolated with us.
Yeah, you can give us a call at area code 856-975-0650. It is our hotline, which is not open right now, so you can leave a message. We'll be more than happy to call you back.
So it's not really our hotline; it's more of our voicemail at this point. Right?
Tonight, it's our voicemail.
It's our voicemail, but
Tonight, it's our voicemail.
But someone might answer it another time. I think that goes to someone's office in Jersey. I'm not 100%. I think we borrow the number at night, and it's actually a number at work during the day.
It's Gino's bat phone.
Is it?
It is.
Ooh, so
It's
call
Gino's
that during the
bat
day.
phone.
See what you get. See what you find out. You might have an angry New Jerseyan yelling back at you. Who knows?
I know, right? So, we're going to decline that.
We already got a. How'd we get a call? Out of nowhere.
I know.
It didn't work.
We're just going to decline that.
We need to stop announcing the number when the voicemail is active.
I know.
We'll just say check the description block for the thing.
So, also,
What the?
if
Hold on.
we'd like to, or if not if, we would like to give a big shout out to our podcast listeners over on SoundCloud.
That's right, SoundCloud. You guys have joined us, and so if you can't see us right now, actually, the start of the show wasn't a big deal for them because they're used to not seeing us. So this is kind of it's just a normal day for them. No technical difficulties.
And if you're listening to the podcast for the very first time and you want to watch the show live, head on over to Facebook to the Valken Airsoft Facebook page. We are live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
is there any place we missed? And then there was also maybe a little Instagram TV here and there occasionally, like some updates
What is
or
up
some
with you?
tidbits.
You're not the one that posts on IGTV. Why do you always bring that up?
Because it's fun to mess with you.
I know. It's like
I enjoy myself.
He gives me
I'm going
work.
to come up with new platforms for him to have to post to that are difficult, that you have to like hand transcribe.
Oh,
things.
hey,
That's my goal.
here's a platform I'm giving you, Mr. Author.
Oh, that's right. The classified is starting soon. So yeah,
Yep,
if you guys don't know
the
what this is,
classified Airsoft blog.
new bit of content we're providing for you guys. Inspired by some wonderful places to read about airsoft, like Stumpy's from back in the day. But yeah, the Vulcan Classified.
Thumpies.
Stumpy's, did I get that? Did I
Oh
say
my
Stumpy's?
gosh.
Did I say Stumpy's?
You
I'm
did
sorry.
say Stumpy's.
Like Thumpy's Airsoft blog back in the day. They're going to be kind of everything from getting started to some basic knowledge, because I find that most Airsofters don't know much about Airsoft.
that.
And they're afraid to ask. So we're just going to provide some
look.
information out there, and you can just take it or leave it. It's up to you.
Gus Hawkins says, bring out the legend.
Oh, wait. Did someone type legend in the chat?
Oh my gosh, it's legend.
Legend? Is there a legend on the show today? Do we have a legendary guest?
But before we get to our guest, let's give a big shout out to our sponsors. First up, the Valken Alliance.
Oh, can we say pyramid scheme still? We have. Oh, that's right. Multi-level marketing is what we're saying now. See, you sign up 2 people, and they sign up 2 people on their downstreams, and you get a little bit of exposure bucks from all those people, and eventually you will be a YouTube star.
Because normally, head on over to ValkenAlliance.com, sign up, look for your Facebook group for your region, and like we're in the Rockies region, the legend is in the Midwest region.
Is Texas the Midwest or the South?
It's the South.
That's like
Texas is the South.
But they wear cowboy boots, so that's technically the West. It's a weird mixed-up place,
right?
You know what I mean?
So normally we keep sharing airsoft events in those groups, but hey, if you need to socialize, head on over to your Valken Alliance Facebook group.
And like this is the time to crack your gun open if you want to do that. And those pages are a great way to ask a little bit of advice if you are stuck. Like, how does this part go back together? Someone might help you out.
And we are working on back and forth. A new ambassador affiliate program that we're hopefully going to roll out this summer when everything's turned back on again.
And that's for real money, not like exposure
bucks,
bucks,
you can actually get paid
because
you like Valken products,
or even if you don't like it, promote it and get paid for it.
I know, exactly right.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like Bloomberg. He was paying social influencers, and some of them were like doing the post, and then 10 minutes later doing another post. Like, I don't support this guy, but he paid me $200. So if you want to do that, go for it. Like, it's more power to you as long as the clicks come through.
So be sure to check out our other sponsors, Enola Gay and Elite Force Airsoft.
Very, very generous. And they are also part of our roadshow this year, so we will be showing off all 3 brands in the Palace compound?
The compound.
The compound, we're calling it. The Valken, Enola Gay, Elite Force. Any other names in there? Is that all of them?
And Gino. Gino sponsors the show.
Yes, he does.
He is now an affiliate sponsor of the show.
Oh, hey, we have our first.
Give some big hearts to all our sponsors there tonight.
And actually, Brandon Wilbanks, right there, he's already volunteered to be our first guy to sign up right here in the chat right now. First sign up. See, it works.
I'll hook you up, Brandon. It's gonna be fun. Oh. All right, we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and
do we have to talk to our guest?
Yes, we do. Everybody here wants to see the legend.
Would they? Is there need legendary for him? Oh, no, that didn't work. I tried it.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yes.
Take that.
Doug Smith, we are still coming to Stonebreaker on Memorial Day weekend.
Rescheduled Stonebreaker.
Yes, rescheduled.
So I'm excited for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
What's going on, guys? This is Soto from Overwatch Tactics, and you're watching the Valken Debrief. No? Yes? Maybe so?
This is the Valken Keymod handguard system. This keymod system can be used on a variety of airsoft accessories and includes a mil-spec barrel nut, a barrel nut wrench, crush washer, and hex tool. They have ultra lightweight construction made of an aluminum alloy, and there are mounting points on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions for keymod accessories. They are also ergonomically slim and sleek with a smooth textured matte finish. The 20mm Picatinny top rail has numbered increments, and they come in both 10-inch and 12-inch lengths. Thanks for watching, and please leave a review to tell us what you think. Welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number...
The most quarantine show in Airsoft, 121?
Yes.
121?
Yes, and here in Colorado, Governor Polis issued last night a mandatory by law now. He makes it very clear.
Yep.
Before it was voluntary or highly recommended, now it's by law stay-at-home order for non-essential personnel as of 8 a.m. this morning.
But notice he didn't say stay in your home, so I'm in your home right now. He said stay at home. I just went to a random home, so that's why I'm in your home right now. So
yeah.
It's all about the wording of the law. Just find that gray area and just work it hard. You know what I mean?
So without further ado...
Oh, wait, you forgot. There's a sponsor that sponsors this segment before we bring the guest on that we need to show some love to. Did you forget that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good.
There you go.
Okay, Valken Debrief event segment. Wait, no, that's event segment.
Oh,
hold on. Where's my copy?
right here.
Okay. Live hotline segment is brought to you
Nope,
by.
it's not the live hotline.
Okay,
segment.
sorry. Our interview segment tonight is brought to you by Enola Gay smoke grenades and lifestyle gear. If you don't like Enola Gay, I don't like you. That's just how it is.
So without further ado, viewers, followers, listeners, please welcome Kaid the Legend Yates. Hey, we didn't even rehearse that.
I know.
Guys.
I think I said Yates at the end there. Did I get Yates right?
Yeah,
I
you
said
got it right.
Kates almost.
Kate's
Yeah, I almost said Kates real quick. How's it going, buddy?
Gus Hawkins. Legend or we riot.
I don't know. How can they riot? They're all in their own homes.
I
Feel
know,
free to
right?
destroy your own home if you want and send us the video. Like,
Oh.
it won't bother me none.
Bubba, I went to the store to try to get Tito's, and they were out. I was thoroughly upset.
Would I miss something here about Tito's?
Oh yeah, that's like Bubba Moore's go-to Tito's and Diet 7-Up.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if there was something special about Tito's, like I had to go buy some or something, like they're making, like it's a cure for the coronavirus or something that I didn't know about.
I don't know, Bubba. Are Tito's a cure for the
Will
coronavirus?
vodka fight the virus? Please tell me, and I will do my best to fight it as hard as I can.
Tito's are a legend in the supermarket.
On the upside, though, I heard that they are slowing production down because there's like half their production is going to be hand sanitizer for the duration of this. So that's always a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a move a legend would make.
Yeah, it is. Is that legend approved, you would say?
I would say so.
So Kaid, welcome.
Hi. How you guys doing?
He's a lot more vocal on the radio, I have to say.
He was a lot more fun before we actually started doing the interview. Like, could
I
we just
mean,
pre-record?
Is he a little shy?
For an interview, you have to ask questions.
Well, we've done this like 3 times already, so I just expect you to
How
launch
many
into
times
whatever
have
you
you
were
been on
talking.
the show now?
This is the second time.
No, third.
Technically the
Third, because actually 2.5. We'll call it 2.5 because remember there was the
2.5.
lost episode.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Kaid
Yeah.
is from American Milsim and Team Fraught. For American Milsim, he is now the permanent cost commander.
Was he not permanent before?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is cost still running, or is it just you're a permanent commander for one of the factions?
The green
That
side.
would-
to be named
That
at
would
a
be right.
later date.
Yeah, that'd be right. Permanent commander for one of the factions.
So,
faction
so
commander.
cost is gone now officially, right?
What? No.
Is it? No.
Get the hell
Well,
out of here.
because
Where'd you get that? Ooh.
because I'm waiting because it hasn't been a first event yet, so I'm waiting to see like actually what their factions are for the first. And I know
Well, the factions for the first 2 events were cost against UFS.
Yeah,
Or,
that's and so I thought like I kept hearing that it's like new factions, so I thought that like cost was going to be phased out maybe during
Nah,
the virus
man.
or something.
Oh, nice. No, not
Okay.
at all. We're that's going to be the permanent quote unquote green side would be cost,
Cost.
and then UFS would be the permanent quote unquote tan side.
So there's no changing up of everything, rolling the dice or anything like that. So okay.
I mean, there's definitely changes that are coming, but those 2
okay.
factions are kind of like the main
Tom
bread
Hall
of what we've
mentioned something. I
got.
have to go grab something.
Or
real
did
quick.
you? Okay, so hold on. Bob's got to go grab something off the
okay.
shelf. He hasn't.
That's okay.
Now
I can
that
talk to you.
Now that we're at his house, there's all the baubles here. Like I don't know if you've actually seen any
Baubles?
shots. Oh, dude.
Like bobbleheads?
No. Like I'm talking like tchotchkes, collectibles. Like Bob has every collectible known to man when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, there's Star Wars light fixtures. There's a gallery on the wall over to my right with lightsabers and scenes from the movies.
I got a lightsaber right there.
Yep.
I got a lightsaber right there.
Oh no. Like if he was living in your house right now, that whole back wall you wouldn't see any white.
Reach
it would
over
just
and
be.
just grab it.
See, like I don't.
Oh, that's what she
Yeah,
said.
yeah, like see, so I can just reach over and grab one of these right off the wall.
Oh, that was super loud. In my
It
headphones.
was. It's even louder here. So I'm saying, like, if you guys want to see tchotchkes while we're broadcasting out of the house, he'll disappear and just grab anything. It's bad.
Tom Hall, this is for you. Since you mentioned it in the chat, look at that. This is. Can you see it?
Is that booze?
This is Polish vodka.
Oh, is that the?
This is what Conrad gave me at SHOT Show as a.
Was that the trade for like the? You lent him like an extension cord or something like
I
that?
let him use a microphone so he
Oh.
could go around and conduct interviews.
That's how you thank people, right there. That's
Yes.
the way.
It's
mean,
so good.
You don't have to go to Poland for the thank you, but do it in kind.
So,
Anyway.
Kaid, what have you been doing during this wonderful time across the pandemic right now?
I've been doing a lot of hiking and a lot of working out.
But wait a minute, you're outside. How are you not practicing social distancing?
I mean, you're not usually by people when you're hiking by yourself. I'm not hiking in busy areas. I'm just hiking in the kind of areas around my house.
Nice. So still managing to get outdoors, but not violating any of the rules that we're operating under?
Yeah, I think I've passed 2 people, and each time we've passed, we've given each other like a super wide berth. So it's been really good.
Yeah, so this is not the end of the world. Hopefully.
No, not. But rule number 1 is cardio, so gotta keep working out.
You know, and here's the thing. I said 4 times I wanted zombies. I didn't get them. I told people over and over again, this pandemic is horseshit. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I asked for zombies multiple times. Did
I think
not
a lot
get
of
them.
people ask for zombies.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know what I haven't noticed,
you know what you haven't noticed?
Who? Is there someone
We
important?
have a political, military head-to-head going right now between Colonel Verduga and Bubba Moore.
Is that going on in the chat
That
right
is
now?
going
I've
on
been
in the
paying
chat.
attention all.
How did Colonel Verduga hack our live stream there?
I am not Gino. I think we can beat a lot, but that's a fight that we don't want to take on. I don't know them personally. I know them by reputation. So let them do whatever they need to do and work that out, and we'll just facilitate. It's okay. Don't stop them. Just let the hack go.
So the big thing we wanted to bring Kaid on is, and we just like to preface everything that whatever Kaid says is not the thoughts and opinions of American Milsim.
But it will be held as law.
They're his opinions.
Get out of here.
What we say is not the thoughts and opinions of Valken. It's just our personal opinion. So, or our sponsors. We got to throw that in there too. So we're just here talking about.
I'm going to get Kaid to make all kinds of commitments for this year.
Go for it.
Like they get to wear hot pink on his team from now on.
No way, man. Civilian, go for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, wouldn't that be fun if you just picked a different highlighter color for every event this year and made that the uniform? So, like, it's hot pink this time. You just have to wear some kind of hot pink. It can be a bunny suit. It can be like some of that 90s urban camo everybody loved in the hip-hop world. You know, like,
Somehow
then electric
there'd
green.
be still issues with green on green. It's just going to happen.
Just guaranteed.
You know, if you don't know what's going on in the world, it's happening both in the United States, overseas, China, Italy, Spain. Spain's numbers are going up. You know, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that's struggling and being affected personally with this. I don't think there's an American, at least in the United States, that has not been affected in at least one small way.
Here's the crazy thing about that is that we've been rooting for other countries on this right now. But I actually saw the news today. We actually have the most cases confirmed right now in America.
Yeah, we just got that.
So it's a real.
Dude, that's not an award we want.
No, I'm not saying it's a good award.
We're number 1.
What I'm saying is we've been sending help for other countries that were hit really hard with this, like Italy and Spain and Korea and all those other places. And you guys who are stuck home alone, you're not alone because they're now rooting for us back. This is not an American problem, a Chinese problem, an Italian problem. This is a human problem. And we're all in this together. And so we're going through our hard part right now, and they're rooting for us. Actually, I heard some good news that there is a treatment in France that they are looking into, which is not what the president was talking about last week. It's a completely different study. And the first round of vaccine testing has already started in Canada. So things are looking better.
Leave it up to those Canadians, eh?
Yep. I might be wrong on Canada, but I saw a person from like this side of the pond in what looked like a North American doctor's office getting the shot. So
Kaid, what's it like for the local situation in Oklahoma? No, you're not in Oklahoma. You're in.
I'm in Illinois.
Illinois, just on the east side of St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
is that where Nellie's from?
Who?
Nellie, he's from St. Louis, right?
Yes.
With
Your speaking privileges have been revoked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. So, tell us what's going on in Illinois in the St. Louis area.
So as of last week, all of our fields have shut down. We're actually pretty fortunate that we have 3 fields in the area within 45 minutes drive. And we all know that small businesses rely on heavy traffic to make money and stay open.
Yep.
So all of them as of last weekend are shut down. So it's a big bummer because every one of us in the community knows the owners of those fields, and we know that we're fortunate to have those fields. So we're trying to come together and figure out ways where once this is over, we can we can kind of help contribute back to them and start getting a good cash flow to drive back into, kind of pick them back up on their feet. One of our local guys named Alex Mead actually is heading this, and honestly, some great ideas are coming around that I think that we're pretty excited to implement.
So before we start talking about that in detail, which is, I mean, that's really great that you guys are thinking and planning ahead. But you know, what was it, about a week or two ago? A lot of airsoft fields, airsoft event companies, you know, it was like, oh, we're still holding it, and then all of a sudden it was just like, you know, a snap of the fingers, and everybody was like, uh-oh, we have to either postpone or cancel, and all of March went away. April, you know, some are still going because some states aren't as affected as others.
Because they're stupid.
Well,
so,
yeah.
yes, we're actually seeing
I'm going to leave that
in
one right where it
Airsoft
is.
community pages of players bragging, oh, we have 150 players that came out this weekend. That's awesome.
Yeah.
In the chat, tell us, I mean, do you think that's a good thing or not as we talk about it here? And obviously the legend has been triggered a little bit, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see that kind of stuff,
I think you should just let him talk. Like, I don't know if you can see the face right now.
I
You're
know,
looking.
it's
He
just
is.
like
He's
he's turning
literally chomping at the bit. You got to let him answer this question.
so
I don't know if it's necessarily chomping at the bit, but I mean, everybody has their own ideals and their own opinions. I think that what we're dealing with is a very scary thing, and I understand Field's desire to stay open because that's how they make money. But what's going to happen is no matter if there's an engagement distance, people are going to go, they're going to high five each other, they're going to be on the field and excited. And especially when we know that symptoms specifically for this disease don't show up between 5 and 14 days. Some people never even show symptoms and they're just flat out carriers. What's going to happen is some poor airsoft kid's going to carry it home to his mom, who might be a smoker, or his grandma. And in 14 days, they're going to be on their deathbed. And that is the scary part. And that is the stuff that I hate seeing, is just the ignorance in people's lives where they are not reading the facts or seeing what's actually going on.
I have to say that part of the problem is that some places right now, like our state right now, is taking probably some preventative measures. We don't have that many cases. We have a hot spot in the mountains, and that's because tourists brought it in from Italy.
Governor Polis actually just requested the same status that California, New York, and Washington have, because when you just look at the numbers by themselves, it doesn't seem high. But when you do the per capita ratio, we are higher than New York and California.
I wasn't saying that wasn't true. What I was getting at is that some of these preventative measures and shutdown stuff can stop things from being worse later. Like, so if we bite the economic bullet now, and that's what we're doing in our state, like basically the governor made a decision that we have some hot spots. It's not everywhere, but we're just going to take a preventative shutdown for at least a week. And if you can flatten that curve a little bit, it saves a lot of issues later. But the big problem I'm hearing from a lot of doctors right now and experts in this is that if you open things up too early, you end up having multiple breakouts over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, you just keep cycling it. And so if you don't really bite down and endure the pain of the shutdown stuff as long as necessary originally, you're just going to keep the cycle going, and it'll be worse in the end. So,
Jared Long in the chat says those players bragging are on the same level as the college kids who went to spring break in Florida last week that were just packing the beaches.
You know, one of those
Florida.
kids that got interviewed tested positive, right? So that video is passing around.
There's people that have tested positive, and
no, I meant like one of the ones that was bragging about, like, I'm spring breaking has tested positive. They won't say which one, but one of the interviewed ones has. It's great.
And that's the other thing too, is you have fields that have rental equipment, you know, and if you're out there, you're not sterilizing it and washing it down with hot water like you normally do at the end of the night. That's not enough. So basically, if you're re-renting, especially face masks, you're just, increasing and contributing, to the problem. And
also, if you're not wiping the receivers down too, like with a disinfectant wipe, a lot of people probably don't think about that, but the receivers, like the guns themselves, need to get wiped down, and that's not normally a cleaning thing.
Kaid, in Illinois, what is the primary demographic that that you hear is getting affected by COVID-19?
I mean, mostly inner city packed, where obviously it's much easier for it to spread. But there's cases that are popping up rurally as well, which is what's going to happen. I mean, that's the frustrating part about the disease is you don't know you have symptoms and you spread it super easily. When they say like within the first 3 days, without showing symptoms, the amount of the disease that was in your throat just from coughing and breathing was incredibly high. So you're just walking around touching things and you're just spreading it like wildfire.
Is it still affecting just the folks that they're elderly or have immunity deficiencies, or is it expanding?
I mean there's absolutely reported issues and reported cases of healthy people in their 20s, early 30s who hike and work out and do all that stuff who are dying from this disease without any previous issues like health-wise. I mean, that's the scary part is we as a community or as even a nation, due to a lot of issues with misinformation early, we're looking at this like it was another flu.
Wouldn't it be fun to actually have the disaster movie that mimics real life? So instead of like we get the news the asteroid's coming and instantly NASA like finds a team of drillers to shoot off into space and destroy it, we spend 3 months arguing about the existence of the asteroid before we do anything. You know what I mean? Like the asteroid's not really there. The government's lying to you. You know what I mean? That would be a real disaster movie. Just like 2 hours of media pundits yelling at each other that it either exists or it doesn't exist, and it's all a plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bo Gongra, Gongre. I'm sorry,
Gonger. I like Gonger. That's a good name.
Bo says New Orleans is the epicenter of the South. It's really bad in Louisiana.
They don't have any shutdowns there too, and that's kind of part of the problem is that they're a hotspot and they're not shutting down.
Yeah,
you know.
Mark Lucas asks, anyone know if Masato may close the Seneca depot for their op? Right now, I always go on right before the show and update every single event. And Masato's event at the Seneca Army Depot is still a go. It's
What's
still
the date on that one?
I know Tom O'Rourke, the owner of Masato, and everything is still a go as of right now. Because everything that's affecting New York is pretty much
New York City, down south.
on the island.
And if that's in Seneca, that's up towards like Albany.
That's almost Canada.
Yeah, so
that's
like
almost Canada.
I know if you guys aren't familiar with the geography there, basically like New York State has like 15 million people in it and 12 million live in New York City. Like there's not much in the rest of the state. So, you know, hopefully they should be less affected.
And that event is not until...
Oh, Louisiana is closed. They've announced they're now on a statewide shutdown as well, Bo just said.
Yeah. Seneca Army Depot is April 24th through the 26th. So it's still a month out. So a lot could change.
Yeah, that might be.
Fingers crossed.
A lot could change.
Actually, that's the pool to start. What's the first major event that's going to happen? Like that's the betting pool. Like the first
I'm gonna say Third Coast.
Think Third Coast, like Stonebreaker?
Dragon Road. 7.
Dragon Road, that's the one in April, right?
End of April. That's Dawsonville, Georgia.
Okay, so that's what we're rooting for.
That's what I'm rooting for.
If that one goes, then we're somewhat back to normal.
Yep.
Okay.
We're somewhat back to normal.
So we can tell. What's your back to normal standard there, Kaid?
Going back to work Monday through Friday.
Oh,
9 to 5.
Are you home from work too?
Oh yeah. My company that I work for has shut down most of their lower level stores, and they are rotating staff in and out of their higher stores. But I also understand the specific company that I work for is a necessity for people. So we've got to be there and we've got to be able to help customers out. So I've already volunteered to take earlier shifts because I do have the ability to self-isolate.
Well, that's good. So that's good to hear. I mean, it sucks that so many people are home and out of work, but at least, you know, you're luckily enough. Luckily enough, you're in a group. You're at least somewhat working still. You know?
I am truly lucky to have the job I do.
Oh yeah, I mean it's scary the numbers for unemployment applications.
Like 3-something million.
Yeah.
Like
7,000 in one day in Colorado alone last week.
Yeah. In Europe, like in Germany, I love their financial system because it may seem crazy. Like we get about 15% federal taxed.
Yep.
Right.
I think theirs is like in the 50s.
In Germany, it's 40%.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
I mean, you don't have construction lasting forever on the Autobahn. You actually have like 2 months paid maternity leave. I mean, the medical system over there, it's like, you never have to worry about anything.
My best ER story ever was after getting into a bar fight in Germany in my teens years. I got my head cracked open, and all I did was get a cab to the ER, walk in. They treated me, and I walked out. It's kind of nice. Yeah. Germany's my favorite ER of all time, except they give you those little Jerry aspirin, and I don't know what it is, but in Europe you can't get full size aspirin. Everything comes in small doses, so you have to take like 6 times the pills you normally do.
RJ Yannick, good old RJ, he runs a field. He says what we always do is wristband, gun, and mask has same numbers, so players don't mix gear.
That's a good one.
Mask does not go out a second time. Wipes and sanitizer on each table. Tables moved 10 feet from each other, but we decided to shut down until schools are supposed to open.
Oh, because they're going to get blasted with all the free babysitting kind
of
setup.
RJ's, he's saying we have to bite the bullet now. So right now they're trying to push gift cards and free curbside HPA fields just to be smart. I mean, that's just a great example of...
It's something.
I like that.
I mean, following the schools, it's probably a pretty good rule of thumb. If they're not doing face-to-face teaching, it's probably a good idea.
Plus the side effect,
the fields aren't open.
if school is out, where do you think parents are going to dump their 12 to 15-year-olds for the day? And then when they don't want them around the house bothering them. So, that could exacerbate the issue as well. But yeah, it's good to hear that some fields that are able to operate are still operating. I've been following 878 stuff down in Texas, and they're limiting, I think, to 40 people on the field, and they're enforcing kind of, minimum anything distance is like 15 feet or something like that. So I appreciate that people are still trying to keep their businesses going within the rules.
Within the rules,
at least not blatantly violating stuff.
So Kaid, what do you think about? Because there is a balance. I mean, we can't deny it regarding, flattening the curve and the economy. Like our president is talking about wanting businesses back open by Easter, April 12th.
I think that might be a little soon.
I mean, well, so Chris says it's soon. What about you, Kaid?
I don't have the economics degree to really give a professional answer on that, but if you look
it's just our opinions,
if you look at everything that's going on out there, and the fact that they're saying is we are still in the beginning phase of this as it starts to spread and people get tested, and our hospital system really starts to get bogged down, which is probably one of the scarier things that'll happen. Like we are more than a couple weeks away from where we should be shutting down wise. Like honestly, if you look at it, and it sucks from a professional standpoint because people need to go back to work, people need to make money, or our government needs to get together and actually continue with more stimulus funds to keep people in their houses, not choosing between food and rent, right?
No, I mean, totally agree. I'm kind of like, I think it would be good with stipulations, and this is gonna carry on over why it would not work because of the stipulation. It would have to trust people to do the right thing.
I think the flaw in that is that you use the word people. Persons are smart. So people are flighty, scared, panicky animals.
This goes back to the airsofters that are bragging that they have 150, 200 players on a Saturday still playing in this stuff, because the easiest analogy I can make is this type of airsoft player is the one yelling across the field, hey, that person is not calling their hits, but in the same turn when they get hit, oh, well, that hit didn't really count because it bounced off my gun, off my backpack, and then off the wall. So technically it really didn't hit me.
There might be some natural selection in this.
It's basically the rules are good for everybody else, but not for themselves. And that's why if things get reopened, which we need economically, I get it. I just don't trust people to make the right decision to do what's best.
Part of the issue is that I think people don't realize that the economic damage has already been done. I think we're looking at some kind of economic downturn similar to what most of us experienced in our late teens, which was the housing mortgage, depending on our age. And so when this stuff happens, like the death toll's scary, people getting hurt scary, but it's always the side effects. It's like you set off a nuclear weapon and yeah, it knocks down a bunch of buildings, but it's like the fact that you can't move food afterwards that kills more people. You know what I mean? Or you don't have enough hospital beds. And so I think trying to save the economic situation is a fool's errand at this point. And so keeping more people alive and less resources tied up with sick people is probably a better investment than trying to jumpstart an economy that everybody's kind of scared already. So, that's just where I fall on it. Like, ride out the emergency and then we'll deal with the fallout. Don't half-ass it.
You know what I love seeing in the chat is seeing folks, because the fact that you folks watching live are in the chat and talking that are my friends, and I can see you and I'm like, man, they're doing good. Like Kevin Hafet Nieves Rivera, like I haven't seen him like in forever.
I haven't seen him ever. I've never seen him.
Really? He's been to several AMS events.
I maybe just don't know him by face.
It's been a minute.
I was trying to be funny there.
Oh,
you
okay.
kind of just shut me down. Like I was just leaning into a joke there.
Okay, sorry. We got Sam Nemo in the house, who's also an airsoft business owner. It's hard to not want to go play or keep the field open when Lowe's and Home Depot (parentheses any big stores) are still open and seeing thousands of customers a week. Tough decision to make. Florida's numbers are growing like crazy, and everyone is just doing their daily routine. And I mean, he's right. Florida is. Yeah. It seems to just kind of they're like literally on an island.
Yeah.
They've turned Tampa Bay Stadium into a testing facility, an entire football stadium to treat folks. And I mean, if you're turning an entire stadium into something to help, I mean that should be a good indicator that something's happening.
Plus it's Florida, so we never actually know what's going on down there. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some great Florida man stories from this epidemic. Like Florida man like runs around naked covered in Purell or something. God. There's going to be a couple of them.
So Kaid, I know you have your son. My kids are definitely getting cabin fever. What are you doing with your son to, keep his spirits up, keep him, happy and, every day?
I think kids nowadays are substantially luckier with all the stuff they have that they can do compared to when we were kids. Like we didn't have as many opportunities to play video games, or we had like 4 channels on the TV, or some of you like Chris didn't have a TV.
I grew up in the city, dude. I don't know about you country bumpkins, dude. Like I had a Jumbotron in Times Square. Take that.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. But so I mean, I get Colton every other weekend, and we pretty much have planned activities. He's gonna start hiking with me. We talked about the importance of being physically fit and physically able.
That's right.
We had a pretty good in-depth conversation about what's going on in the world, so he kind of understands what's going on.
There he goes.
He's gotta go to the bathroom.
So, do you have a backyard at your place?
No, I currently live in an apartment complex, but there is a pretty nice little like grassy hill area out there.
Because my solution has been, I think, pretty rad. My wife bought a trampoline a while ago, so you don't need a whole lot of yard, but if you have a trampoline, and you can pick them up on Craigslist for like $300. Like I just locked my son out of the house for 2 hours this afternoon and just said, go jump. And he came in like soaked in sweat and like, all right, now go get in the shower. And then he was quiet for 3 hours after that. So trampolines, if you have limited space and you're stuck, that's where it's at.
I typically bring the trampoline out a little bit later because I want the grass to grow a little bit. Because if I put it now while it's still kind of dead from winter.
Not a problem at my house. We don't believe in grass at my house. True. Yeah, that's right.
Greg Alexander says, man, Rob, just going to skip right over wiffle ball bats. Dude.
Oh.
You remember wiffle balls, Kaid?
Yeah. They're still around. Wiffle
played a lot of wiffle ball baseball when I was a kid.
Hey, I sucked at baseball, but man, I could put a mean curve on a wiffle ball.
Yeah. They actually have that curveball wiffle ball now that curves for you. You just put your fingers on the spots and it just curves and stuff. Yeah, I saw one of those seen on TV things for it.
And speaking of which, Greg Alexander and Ryan Dean have run out of airsoft gun custom work. So if you would like to support
Fatco Customs?
Fatco Customs.
The fattest co in the country?
Or Yankee from Double Tap Airsoft.
Oh, that's right. He's doing some rad stuff down there in New Orleans now. Yeah. Or sorry, Lake Charles. I'm sorry.
Because if your local gun tech local store is closed, hey, hit up Ryan and Greg in the chat, like, hey, offline, and see if they can do some upgrades on your gap.
And I'll tell you from my recent eBay purchases, the U.S. mail system is working fantastic during this crisis. Yep. So if you need to, that's one way to, I mean, it's kind of cool because I get to show my son what it was like before same-day delivery for everything. So now we order something and then we wait for 3 days and complain and pine, and then it shows up, and then we wait for 3 more days for the next thing to show up. But yeah, the mail is working. So you can send anything off you need to.
Grab my glowing burrito real quick, because this is for Dave Gibson and the Raptors.
Your lightsaber?
Yeah, because
your saber of light.
They love purple, so
watch
Dave
out, it's gonna be loud.
Yeah,
Donna Gibson.
So.
Yep,
this is for you, because you guys rock purple so well. As an airsoft team, we love it. I love it.
Very phallic.
Yes.
That was a legend comment right there.
Oh, legendary.
Yes.
Are we falling down on our
our
legendary conversation with Kaid the Legend?
We do. Doug Smith says the big red bats were the best. It sounded like you were beating each other to death, but it didn't
the
hurt.
fat ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were good too. Yeah, you know what would be good for in the house if you have enough space? You actually could do it with your hallway here. You remember the squishy Nerf balls with the bats that you could hit and wouldn't actually hurt anything? Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that'd be good for inside the house.
Bo's getting mean. Fill them with water and freeze them. Come on, Bo.
That's messed up.
That's mean.
But I like where your head's at.
Craig Carter says to Ryan Dean, he's been thinking about getting on that MP5 bandwagon.
Yes, everybody's doing it.
Yes.
Everybody's doing it. It's MP5. The cool. In fact, actually, Will has joined us on the MP5 bandwagon. I think he's getting his work done.
Which Will?
Soto, because he was posting his selection the other day, and I said, you need to drop that M4 business. It's not cool. No one's doing that anymore.
2019.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of Overwatch Tactics, they lost a very good friend. I believe it was last week. That comes out and helps Overwatch and helps them with their events, and we just hope that their family. We're thinking about them still. There's actually been several over the past month. A lot. When I say a lot, probably at least 4 airsofters that I've connected with that have. This is
the bad kind of year for that, because isn't this the same time that Nemesis lost one of their guys a year ago or so?
Yes.
Not to pick at any wounds or anything. I'm just saying that it seems that the end of spring, beginning of summer is when we lose when we're going to lose people in the community. We end up losing them to accident. I think even Zane lost his leg in the springtime. I think that accident happened too. It seems that April, May, March are cursed for airsoft to a certain extent.
But I love you say Zane and it gives me a smile because Kaid, you remember at Copperhead.
That dude murked one of my whole squads on one leg.
So
one leg.
Derek from Moguns is riding around in this little ATV.
Michael Durant, you will not be forgotten. Michael Durant, we remember you the whole weekend.
I know. Zane is sitting in the passenger seat, and Derek would just pull up, and Zane would just grab his rifle and just start hopping after people on one leg and just wiping them out. Do you
think no one was willing to shoot back because of the one-legged thing? They just were in awe, or do you think they were giving it to him, or he just was that badass? I can't decide.
Legend, what do you think?
That badass.
Okay, yeah. I'll agree with that. Plus, if some guy jumps out of a car and hops at you with one leg, he's really into what he's doing, and you don't want any piece of that. That guy's really committed.
Rich Kelly says, we only call Zane by pirate names now.
Arr. If he gets a peg leg, that would be legendary. I know that probably there's a real prosthetic in the future, but a peg leg for games. Ooh, a peg leg at Avalon would be perfect.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yes, it would be perfect.
That would be perfect.
Yes. So Zane, Avalon, peg leg, make it happen.
So, Kaid, with you being at home, is there anything that you have finally gotten around to do that you really haven't had time yet to do?
Yeah, I have a outlandish amount of airsoft stuff, and it was all just laying in a room. And I went through it all over the last few days. I got my gun wall back up, and I got all my stuff together. and I got just a crap ton of stuff that I'm just gonna give away, and it just feels so good to do that.
Do you find that like everybody makes a gun wall or gun storage system when they start, like after about 6 months in airsoft, when they start getting more than one gun? But then after you've been doing it for a couple of years, your guns never make it back up to the wall. They just stay in your gun bags continuously.
You're just on the floor of the car.
Or the back of your car. You know.
Since I moved to the new place here, is like everything just laid out on the floor. It's like, oh, here we go.
It's just easier that way. Actually, way back.
Not when you step on them trying to get to stuff. So that was the last thing.
Point.
I had to go because my router's in there, and I had to go reset it the other day. And I was like, dark room, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Especially with those,
you got to sort it out. You got to organize it.
Some of those space guns have real sharp angles on them too. So if you're barefoot walking through like a pile of those things, that can lead to like split toes or nails being pulled off. All that horrible crap that if you don't have kids, you don't know about because you don't have the Lego minefield in your whole house.
Lights on real quick.
What? Are we getting dark in here?
Yeah, we're just getting a little dim.
I thought we were gonna like let it get dim and set the mood, like all romantic like and whatnot. Oh. No, we're not doing that. No. This is not Valken After Dark.
No,
but Dr. Love, Chocolate Thunder. No, it'd be like the Silent Storm or something like that. We'd have that crashing thunder in the background every time we said it.
That reminds me of that cartoon about the racing snail.
Turbo.
That was
Turbo.
Turbo. The white shadow, and he's like, "Dude, I can still see you."
No, I'm gone. Don't worry about it.
So, Kaid, tell us. Let's start talking about what you folks are planning out there to kind of stimulate the airsoft community out there.
So some of the ideas that we've discussed that we're kind of throwing around, Alex Mead is kind of spearheading it with a few of us, is we're going to do a 3 separate weekend op where we go to one field and the next field and the next field, and we try to get just the plethora amount of people who would normally go to ops to those fields, put a higher value on the ticket price so that money goes into, as well as doing raffles for various items that people could buy and all that. All those financials will go directly to the field.
That actually, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like pub crawling with airsoft, except it's field crawling.
Yeah, you could say that.
Why has no one come up with that? No, seriously, could you imagine a trip instead of going to a major op, you go into, like, if you're from where we are, where we have like one field for every 3 hours of driving, you go to a place like Chicago or what you guys have in St. Louis or Oklahoma City, and someone just schedules 3 days, like, here's like Friday what you're doing at this field, you're doing Friday night CQB here, you're doing Saturday open play here, and then Sunday scenario day here. I mean, a whole weekend of fun scheduled
Kaid,
for you.
What was the reason you said?
Competition.
It's a lot of fields, they don't like each other.
They should get over that shit. No, seriously, like there's more players than we have fields. So there's no reason to tear anybody down. Like we there's more players that are asking to play out there.
So how are you guys overcoming that?
Got on my soapbox real quick.
In your area, Kaid.
We're fairly lucky in the fact that our field owners are pretty cordial with each other, especially through this. We've even had where they've post back and forth, like wishing each other good luck through this, because I think they all know that no matter if they're competition with each other, they're all here for the same thing, and that's to deliver an excellent experience to the local players.
Good to hear.
And so it's really good to see that stuff, the camaraderie between them, and the genuine wishfulness that they kind of outlast however long people won't be able to go and give them money.
Man, if you're watching and you like what Kaid is saying, just give him some hearts, man. I mean,
it's too late for that. I'm already seeing the chat here is just exploding because they like it naturally. You don't even have to prompt them. They're just good people.
So
hey, what's up, Carlos? Good to see you. We are healthy and okay. Do not worry. Just to answer your question, we are staying safe. We both actually had family scares, which were other medical stuff. But of course, now that anybody gets a cold, you think it's of course the plague. But
they've all tested negative for COVID, which is wonderful. So how to give us an idea, to give our viewers and our listeners an idea of how far these fields are apart from each other.
So the 3 fields on this side of the river, I'm centrally located between them. I can go a half hour north to Wildcat, a little less than a half hour west to Bingfield, and about a half hour south to Extreme. So they're all within. So say the farthest, if you were to go from Extreme to Wildcat, would be an hour drive. But that's insane because they're all like, I'm pretty centrally located at them all, as well as our populous spaces.
Now, are all 3 outdoor fields?
That is correct. We no longer have an indoor field.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens. There are hopes for one in the future, but they're all outdoor fields. One used to cater to paintball and finally brought airsoft on. The other 2 kind of go back and forth a little bit, and we're really lucky as an airsofters for how many opportunities we have to play at various places, even though they're outdoor fields. They each bring different things.
Well, plus you guys are close enough that you can do the drive like to Ohio or something, or there's like your range. It's weird to say this, but where St. Louis is located, it's actually pretty close to a lot of things. So like Oklahoma City and all, or like Kansas City is right. That's like an hour from you, or an hour and a half. If I remember right.
No, Kansas City is about 5 hours from.
Is it really? Okay, did I mess that up? But I know there's
other
zones you can get to relatively easily from where you are.
There's the Rock.
That's
over
right.
in Missouri, and it is one of the coolest fields that I've ever seen.
Burdette.
I'm super jelly. I know.
And then you've got you go north of 5 hours, and you can get up to what is it? I can't even think of it. We played Northern Front there. I'm sorry, Will. I don't know why I can't think of the field's name right.
Black Ops.
Black Ops. Thank you.
Jake Strum says, Kaid Yates directed you, but also each field has a different type of player, which, that's a lot of
fields are communities, and they develop their own flavors.
Yep.
Some would say it's a legend of the sport that they develop their own flavors.
So Matt Holler from Mid Missouri Airsoft. Man, Matt, I have not seen you in a minute.
And Big Boy Milsim, don't forget that.
Yeah. He says they were working on an idea just like that, but then all of this went down.
The nice thing about this disaster, if there's any good things to put out of it, is that if fields are no longer actually able to compete because they're all closed, some people might end up talking to each other who previously didn't like each other. If you got nothing else to go on and you are forced to come together as a community, sometimes some fences can be mended that way, without other stuff getting in the way.
So, Kaid, is this just kind of one team kind of spearheading this plan, or is it
no,
several teams?
No, not at all. There are a lot of teams over here, which is pretty.
Which teams are getting involved? What are their names?
Okay, well, you've got my team, obviously, Team Frot. You have got, I can't, you're going to put me on the spot and I can't think of anybody's team name right now.
Roughly how many?
One of them is going to be named Cerberus. Another is going to be named Black Wolves, and then there's going to be the Golden Daggers. Just colors and fighty words.
Okay, so for instance, in our, we have obviously every local community has a Facebook page, right? Well, one of our local players had gone through and asked for everybody's team logo in there, and there's like 12, 13 individual team logos. You've got the cleaners.
That's rad.
Jake keeps trying to tag me, but you got to tell him I can't see the chat since I'm in the call right now.
Yeah.
So you just have to relay that to me.
I'll figure it out eventually.
Cleaners. You've got Hitter Milsim.
HITR Milsim Hitter. Yep.
Yep.
Vanguard, Crow.
Vanguard. Yep. Crow. Exactly right. And then it kind of continues to go on from there.
Jamal's got your back on this one. Don't worry.
Thanks. Appreciate it, buddy. To allude to it,
I'm
Jake,
surprised Jamal is here because when he's XO, he's always hard to find.
Are you starting
That's
shade?
because I keep him on the field. No, I keep him on the field.
Cleaners.
Work him like a... No, I mean,
pals. Holy smokes. There's a lot of...
Dude,
that is impressive.
There's a lot of teams in the area. Now, a lot of these guys, their teams are more of like local teams. Mm-hmm. And you have a few of us who really do a national scene. But really, that's one thing I like to say is like our airsoft scene here isn't super toxic like some of the others are. We really have a lot of players who get along with each other, and we have a really healthy relationship, sort of a camaraderie.
It's probably all that good barbecue that keeps everybody happy. Like you guys are always full of pork, so you guys are just happy to be around each other.
There's some good barbecue places, but we aren't really known for that around
St. Louis? Are you kidding me? I stopped in
not.
St. Louis for barbecue on my way back east last year. Way back from
Massachusetts.
Would you
St. Louis and it wasn't the county over?
Okay, I know that we're not. No,
listen,
no.
We have. It's okay, but it's no like we're not like super known for it compared to like Kansas City or something like that.
Well, yeah, but still, St. Louis got some good stuff. I stopped.
Javier from Centurion Milsim's in the house. He's asking, "What did I miss?" Javier, you missed Colonel Verduga and Bubba Moore going toe-to-toe at it in the chat. I'm just saying.
No one was allowed to know what they were talking about.
Totally
so
missed
don't
it.
repeat it. That actually will be removed from the chat. So
See, Matt Holler says
no one can
Missouri
know.
food sucks.
Really? You guys got barbecue for, like, seriously, like, if you want to talk about shitty cuisines, like, let's talk about, like, New Jersey. That's a shitty cuisine. It's like exploded hot dogs and, like, chemical plants. You know what I mean? Like,
But dude, the Italian cookies. I love the Italian cookies in Jersey.
we'll exempt that. All right, New Jersey was a bad example. What's a place not known for food? Vermont. Besides maple syrup, name me something from Vermont that is well
Maple
known.
candy.
That's still maple syrup. It's just
Maple bacon.
But it's candy.
It's the lamest form. It's the laziest form of candy. They just pour maple syrup on snow. It's super lazy. No, seriously, that's how they make it. They just pour it on like a pile of snow, and it freezes in that shape, and then that's maple candy. And they break it up into like the little pieces they do. But I'm just saying, like some places are not known for food. St. Louis is known for ribs. They're good. And I stopped specifically and brought back ribs with me.
So-
also smoked bologna. Discovered that. Barbecue bologna is my new favorite.
So Kate. So basically, the plan is to pub hop from one field to the next. Now, is the group of teams that are coming together? Are they basically making the scenarios or the events for each one, or how's that working?
To kind of allude to that, what Jake was saying about the individual teams, they're and I should say the fields and how they play specifically. Like say we go to Wildcat. Wildcat is probably more of your Milsim-based type of team up there. You've got the Gopniks, which is kind of like a Russian impressionist team, but they've been doing a lot of work at that field to really kind of develop it and make it better. So we might have like a Milsim type event at Wildcat. When we go to Bing tends to pull in because they specifically cater out to more airsoft. You get a lot of newer players. They have a ton of rental equipment, and there's a lot of we might just have sort of like a big game type of an event there. And then if you go down to Extreme in itself doesn't play super well in a big game, but when they drop their nets, it's okay. But that'll be more like maybe we do some sort of a tournament, like a 5-on-5 or a 7-on-7.
So Extreme's more of a traditional paintball style field.
We were fortunate in the fact that last year before, they actually opened up to let us come and play there, which is really nice because it was kind of good to get a different experience. But they were a paintball field. They hosted national paintball tournaments in the past, and they're really a well put together field. It's just that they don't play super well for a large contingent of people. Force on force.
What's actually really cool about some of those paintball fields, especially when they have the speed ball fields lined up in a row, I've seen some of them open alternating nets. So they just turn all the speedball fields into one long like pushback field, and the fact that the nets are there creates a very dynamic environment because you open like one half of the net and you create like you can go through on the southern side, or you can then the next field you only can get through on the northern side. So you can turn speedball into a really interesting scenario.
It can be fun. No,
it's
it
actually
absolutely
really cool.
is fun.
And
I mean, they've got a few like closed off wooded fields, and that's kind of fun. But they were definitely catered to paintball prior to that. You can just see the way it's built for not as large of a force of people.
And speaking of paintball, we actually have a celebrity watching the show. He is a former Dolce & Gabbana model, straight up.
Like the purses and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the shoes. Yeah.
Yes, Chad
yeah.
Carter. And because I have to bring it up because he started talking about Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and I'm so craving ice cream right now, Chad. I hate you right now, but I still love you because you were a Dolce & Gabbana model. Just saying.
You're just gonna ride that forever. I'm sure he has other things about him, like he's a nice guy and has a loving family.
His nickname is Dolce.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were just riding that one on the ground or not.
He's a Chad Dolce Carter.
Like I love Kaid for Airsoft, but I'll talk to him about other stuff.
Oh,
like, I realize there's
the
more.
Legend.
Ooh,
Speaking of the
snuck
legend,
that one in.
Where does the Legend name come from?
Are we gonna tell this story again? It's I hate hearing this story.
Okay. We have. I have forgotten it, so I need to hear it.
Because I was on the other end of this story. Other people forget that. Like I was the one in the truck. The truck next to what he took over.
Let him tell the story.
Sorry.
I love story. It's story.
Okay. All right.
Boys and girls, it is
fine.
story time.
It's story time.
Kaid,
All right.
the Legend Yates.
Copperhead 2.5, we were playing as La Losa, which was sort of like a drug cartel in between the green and tan forces. This was kind of fun. So there was a night op, in which case they were supposed to raid our drug cache. And I and a guy named Matt were sitting out. We were supposed to watch what would have been like the north flank. We're just kind of sitting out in the middle. Well, y'all rolled just gun trucks super heavy up in there. UFS did. And so Matt and I decided to sneak way back down to the west and then come back up. Well, nobody had rear security. I mean,
We did not.
and nobody had rear security.
We did not.
So we come up sneaky, and he takes the guy he takes the
It was
takes
that
the driver.
It was that red
and-
Dodge on the left.
Yep.
We
took the
got
driver in
taken
the red.
first.
I got in and I knifed the gunner, which is super cool for him because I mean, really, this doesn't happen if that player says out or hit or anything. He just simply went down and slumped. I got on the gun.
From my point of view, dude, he just stopped shooting, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then one of your guys just showed up at my door and was like, "Hey, I can shoot you in the face from this far away, or you can just call the hit right now." And I was like, "Yeah, you win. It's yours."
So I get on the gun, and much to my surprise and probably my happiness, it was a former teammate of mine and his new team were in my sights, and I had a squad automatic weapon on that thing, and it was kind of cool because it was low, so we had to play on semi. So I held that trigger down and I mowed everybody down.
Yeah, things were
one of
going really well until you did that. By the way, like things were going swimmingly until you disrupted all the fire support there and kind of ruined everything.
It is what it is. So one of their players miraculously didn't get hit, ran around the side of the thing, and I had picked up my M4 and I took him out. And we were clearing the last little bit, and there was just this guy with some nods off in the distance, and he got me, and that was it. But I mean, I was super happy with that was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 kills, right there.
So if you want to lead cost, you have to capture a gun truck. That's how it works, right?
No, I just think you would need to have a good disposition and put other players before you. But
because I remember that was a pretty good kill streak you had that weekend. It did not beat Bo on Team Nemesis that weekend, though. That was, I think, the longest kill streak of the week. Unfortunately, they were both playing green at the time, so that probably wasn't. I don't think we can count that record. If Bo's still listening, I'm turning that knife a little bit. Just turning that knife, Bo, a little bit, all the way from 2.5. I actually have to say, 2.5, dude, that was one of the best weekends of Airsoft, like a legendarily good weekend of Airsoft. Like, it was huge. Like, there was a million trucks. People were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. The night game was ridiculous.
I know that green commander was stinking awesome.
He was okay. He wasn't that great.
It's because he had a great spotter, Tom Hall, who could see forever.
Oh, was that the first one where you guys actually started doing your own Guardian thing on cost? Because I remember that was a UFS thing for the longest time.
We were PSA, Pacific State Alliance.
Are we still saying PSA? I thought PSA got canceled. Because it was
PSA in 2.5.
Did PSA win anything?
Chris,
I thought
stop.
PSA lost.
So here's
last year.
So Top tried to in 2.5. He tried to assault our base twice, was unsuccessful. Noe tried to assault our base from the rear, which he got probably the closest. Did a very good job, but he didn't make it in. And then we completely switched gears on day 2. We completely abandoned the base and the flag. We nobody's there. We took our aid station and our ammo crates, and we picked a house that was closest to the downed helo, and that became our forward base. And we operated out of there. So UFS, at the awards ceremony, they come in, they're all like, "Yeah, we took your flag, we took your base." I'm like, dude, you realize that we just left, we abandoned it. So if you didn't take it, I would have been very disappointed.
Okay. I still think that Tan won that weekend, if I remember right.
No.
When they added up the points, was that right? I can't remember right. Can you
That
refresh
was
my
one of
memory?
those events that
They never announced the score.
Because it was so dead even.
Was
but
it?
Everybody
Everybody
loved 2.5
because it was an awesome event.
Everybody loved 2.5.
No, I actually was not talking trash about earlier when I said that. I forgot what I was talking about. Never mind. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
No, that weekend had 2 actually really epic moments. The Kaid's moment still sticks in my mind for all end of time. And then there was a kick-ass fight over on Montana where I was rolling with my former team, and we were up against Woody and Robo and all those guys in that house. And that was a hell of a fight that went on for like a good 2 hours, and including if you were there, you will remember me projectile vomiting as I come out the front door of their house because I had just hit my limit after like 45 minutes of running between houses and was just done.
So, Kaid, because you had a fun perspective from La Losa that year. Did I ever tell you the story about the Kobayashi Maru mission I gave Robo and Woodcock and the Enola Gay guys?
No.
Was this why they were on Montana?
Yes.
Okay.
So I basically had coordinated with game staff for a Kobayashi Maru mission, which is an unwinnable scenario. So they had to go detain 2 drug runners. Kaid, these were the 2 guys that were just dressed in like running attire that were put on the west end of the field.
Wait, they were part of the game?
Yeah, they were La Losa.
Oh, I thought they were just like someone there watching their kid or something.
No. So Robo and Woody, they had to detain them, before they left the boundary of the field, which was, the border. But as they got close,
They would just run away?
dude, they were just literally wearing t-shirts, shorts, iPro, and running shoes, and they took off. And all I hear is Woodcock on the radio. We're running after. Oh my gosh! Stand by.
I bet they appreciated that. They were very thankful.
It was
good.
very awesome.
No, 2-5 was a great weekend. I love Copperhead. I think Copperhead's my favorite. Like, I don't know, mostly because it's the closest trip for me. That's what I like the most about it.
Yeah. So, Kaid, what? So you're going to do these events. What is which is going to stimulate? Like, we go from this field on this weekend, then like 2 weeks from now we go to this field, and a week from now we go to this field. How do you keep that momentum and that positivity going after you do this mega thing?
Well, maybe we'll look at it like an Airsoft stimulus package for the fields. We're lucky in the fact that each field gets a fairly amount of good players every weekend. Now, Bing caters to Airsoft both days, and the other fields will swap weekends. So like Wildcat will be Airsoft one weekend, and then Extreme will be Airsoft another weekend.
So if you're in the St. Louis area, make sure you check the Facebook pages for fields you're going to, because if you have the wrong weekend, they're not going to let you play on the paintball day.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, too, because paintball's been bread and butter for a lot of them for a long time. And
I just more meant someone's going to look at you funny if you roll out with your BB gun on paintball day. Probably not going to be acceptable.
Yeah. And it tends to be on Sundays sometimes, too. So they do mix them up. But there's always a post on our local Facebook page about who's doing what, so it's coordinated a little bit better.
What is that Facebook page?
That would be the St. Louis Airsoft Community Gear. There's like St. Louis Airsoft Community. You'll probably find it.
Yeah, we have Google.
Yeah.
Google is a wonderful thing.
Google? Is that the guy who runs Zero Customs?
No, it's not.
Never mind.
But to go back to the question.
Yeah, go for it, man.
After this is done, after that, obviously we also have a good camaraderie with each other, and we'll probably just go back to the way things are now with, Bing will do an op every month. Somebody will put an op up at Wildcat, and most of the time we just hit the open plays between there.
So you have a pretty steady op schedule between your local fields? Like, it's not just open play continuously?
There's a crap ton of open play, but there are regular ops. Now Bing, go ahead.
What do you guys call an op at your local field? What is? Yeah. I've never actually been to an actual op day that was different. I've been to an op day at a local field that they said, basically it was an op, but it really just was like $5 extra for the same, you know what I mean, for the same field day.
So what you got is, say we go to Bing Field. Bing Field has normally pulled in the higher amount of players, but it's also, again, they don't have as much skill or as much experience would be the right word. Those are usually a bigger force on force. Now, lately, we've been actually going out, and a few of us who play bigger events have been helping with command and actually using radios and trying to coordinate things. And they are now pushing for more of doing like a milsim op every other or every third op, where it's going to be a strictly milsim event. But prior to that, it was full auto. Everybody can shoot full auto. I mean, it's a giant open play with 200 plus players, which is still kind of exciting, but it gets hectic as heck.
I can see the biggest problem for a newer player in that op environment is just getting lost in it. because that can be
100%.
frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so how do you facilitate your, since you're helping out with leadership at these local events, like you're used to big leadership, and I know it's a gross oversimplification to say that, like, national level players are easier to deal with than local players, because your job is very hard if anybody thinks otherwise. But what's the main lessons you've learned when you are trying to help keep people from getting lost in the shuffle when you're helping out local events?
Boy, that's radios are way important, and not enough people have them. So communication is probably the hardest thing to do. But they have since kind of broken up, like one of those options being they've broken them up into segments, so it makes it a little bit easier. We have a specific objective. We have X amount of time to make this objective happen.
So instead of being like one long op, it's more of like a day of dedicated scenarios more than anything else?
And it has to be for those sort of situations, just because there's so many players coming in and off the field. But say we were to go up to Wildcat, up there, that's where we do more of the Milsim, maybe 6 hours break, 6 hours break.
Is that the more remote of the fields?
Yes.
Because I find that, like, the more remote a field is, the less I hate to say, like, the casuals you get, but the people who come out for like 2 hours on a Saturday, and I'm not dissing those players at all, because those are bread and butter for fields. They keep things going, and it's, yeah, I know. And it's, plus it's always nice to know that you can outrange their rental guns, so that's always fun. But I find that you get to a more remote place, the community is more dedicated if they have to drive like an hour to get to their field.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Local players want to probably go to either Extreme or Bing more often, because they're going to have that. But Wildcat, we're going to have more of an experienced player base and more of a,
because it's like your whole day when you go there, right? Like, because if you're driving an hour someplace,
Yep.
like you might as well spend 5-6 hours playing airsoft, because you got an hour drive home. Get your money's worth,
Absolutely
Actually,
right.
that's something that I was really surprised about. So all our fields here, you pay your cost, and that's the whole day. It's an all-day pass. I didn't know fields did like 4-hour passes and stuff in some places. They got so busy. So like in LA, like I heard that you buy like 2 or 3 hours of field time at a time.
It's kind of like renting a bowling lane. That's
weird. I
weird.
know, it's insane. Like I just, in my head, airsoft is always about like just one cost all day. But if you need to rotate people on and off,
right? Because you got so many people coming to that field,
and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's necessary to give everybody time to play, because, have to do it. And like I keep telling field owners, field managers, every time I talk to them, stop competing with people around you, because if the LA market or your market is a demonstration of that, there's way more players than we have space for. And, they will come if you build it. Someone will come play airsoft if you build it, So
you're right about that.
Yeah. Bo says radios are like $30. Don't get a mock suppressor, get a radio.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
But a mock suppressor makes me feel like I'm Delta SEAL Navy Space Shuttle door gunner. Isn't that the point?
Foam-filled bananas make my gun quieter.
Yep.
Foam-filled banana. Oh my gosh! Now that reminds me of the guy in the banana suit at Gruber.
Do you know if you spend $2,000 on your gun, you actually have a 3-foot force field around yourself? You only have to call every fourth hit.
I thought that was when you wore Morthicam.
No. It's only if you wear Cry do you get those bonuses. Multicam is not really a normally charisma bonus, but Cry gives you a +3 to your charisma, so you actually the BBs go around you. You're so cool.
Well, cool. So we gotta pay some bills real quick. We're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and then the legend will be coming back and joining us as we talk about the events that we still know.
Do we have events to talk about? Okay, cool. Just making sure.
We do have events.
There's a few.
Okay.
So we do have several events that are coming up in April. And we're going to be talking about events all the way through the first weekend in June.
We get some reschedulings too, still that we haven't announced yet.
This list is updated for postponements, cancellations, confirmed.
You better be doing.
dates.
You better be checking those while you're home all day. I know you're here just like watching Star Wars movies and shit. Like you better he's actually keeping track of stuff here and there.
No, it's me. No, it's stuff like showing my son how awesome the Xbox original. Republic Commandos game is.
It's a good one. I'm surprised you haven't broke out the Super Tecmo Bowl yet.
Well, I don't have a Dreamcast.
That Super Tecmo Bowl was Super Nintendo, my friend.
Yeah, we never did Nintendo.
Oh. Or you know what I want to introduce my son to? Final Fantasy VII. The remastered looks rad. Final Fantasy VII, I think, was like the ultimate Final Fantasy game because it made no sense whatsoever. It was visually gorgeous, and it was incredibly hard. Oh, yeah. It's the epitome of Final Fantasy.
What the viewers cannot see right now is my son and I are doing a dungeon crawler here on the table. So we have.
Did those come painted, or did you do those yourself?
No, they came painted like this. So it was a Kickstarter overfunding goal.
Because I've learned how hard it is to paint something that small over this week. And it's very frustrating. And I'm not saying some Space Marines have bounced off my wall, but they have.
So Walmart, in their sewing department, has this thing that hangs around your neck, and it's a magnifying glass that has a light that's powered off a AA. It's just getting used to like the depth of your paintbrush.
I've actually got the technique where I have the finger technique. So I have the finger. I hold the model right here, and then I brace the finger as my distance, and then Oh, hey. I had a visitor. And then, I do the hold, and then I have a really thin brush, so I'm just painting on like one hair at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I'm...
And, for those that don't know, the legend, he is...
You're a D&D guy too, aren't you?
D&D master.
Well, I don't know about a master, but I really enjoy it. I've got an amazing DM.
Also, make sure when you tell people that you're a dungeon master, you specify it's for tabletop and not for other activities.
I don't kink shame.
I wasn't shaming. I'm just saying you might give some people the wrong idea. So you say like, "Hey, come over. I'm a really accomplished dungeon master," and Kaid's down for like a day of gaming, and like a family shows up in leather and with whips and stuff.
That sounds like a fun time either way.
I mean, that might be an interesting game of D&D. Who knows?
Did you check out Fantasy Grounds yet? Did you and your group check out Fantasy Grounds?
We talked a little bit about it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're actually continuing our campaign. Gabe and I this Saturday with our group.
So here's the question: do you think Games Workshop is going to buff Death Guard Nurgle players for the duration of this disaster? I wonder, or is that in poor taste?
I don't know. A lot. I mean,
because Papa Nurgle is happy right now.
Game stores have shut their doors. Cons have canceled or postponed. I mean, the nerd culture is like,
it took us 20 years to get out of our basements and start hanging out together, and now we've been shoved back into our basements. Yeah.
So we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, pay some bills, and then we're gonna come back with the legend to talk about some upcoming events, and he'll give us his 2 cents on whether he's been to that event.
Has he been to other events or just AMS? I thought he was AMS only.
Oh yeah, dude, he's been to other events.
Oh, I'm teasing.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Hey, this is Sal with Third Coast Airsoft at Boom Strike, and you're watching the Valken
This is the Valken ASL AEG Tango. They come with a billet-style nylon fiber receiver and ambidextrous features including a selector lever and magazine release on both sides. Up front, it has a 12.5-inch free-floating M-LOK rail, as well as front and rear high-vis flip-up sights. We recommend using a Valken 9.6-volt nickel metal hydride or a 7.4-volt lithium polymer battery, which is sold separately. The velocity is 340 feet per second and comes in two-tone black and desert. Thanks for watching, and please leave a review to tell us what you think. Legend.
Hey, we're back.
Valken Debrief Airsoft Live Show, episode number
121.
121.
Feeling good.
And we are here with Kaid
the Legend
Yates. See, we didn't even practice that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. We're
right
really
good at this. We're kind of good at this.
Yeah.
Almost professional. So we got events. Oh, where's my got my copy for me real quick there?
Yep, right here.
Since we're sharing a screen right now.
Yep.
So tonight, the Valken Debrief event segment is brought to you by Elite Force Airsoft and is now international. This week's Elite Force product feature is the Elite Force Hater Gen 2 Limited Edition. Sorry, it is a pandemic, so we're doing the same product this week. Edition in black and red. This is probably one of the sickest CO2 revolvers on the market. Retail is about $90 and comes with a limited edition patch. And I think you get like those 10 discs with it as well. So you won't have to go out and buy extra discs. And if you're listening, Elite Force, you owe this guy to my left some of that licensing money, because he has won pictures of it way before you did. He already did it to his own. So
actually, should I grab that?
You could grab it right now.
Should I should
Live action, just to rub it in. He's gonna go.
Just so people understand.
They have to sit. Well, now they have to wait. But yeah, so Hater looks really rad. Please check it out. And actually, for $90 for the Hater, that's kind of a steal.
Dude, they're awesome little guns.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I've got one of the original. We made a team order of 10 of them when the original ones came out. Yeah.
Was that just one of those like we all want to be assholes together kind of thing? Like, you know, like we're gonna be those guys that bought out the local store so you can't have one. Or
that they were just
something to do.
A novel item, and they're fun.
So I'm gonna bring that one back up again.
Did you not find it?
No, I did. Hold on.
Oh, is it coming? I don't know. Half the time I don't know what you're coming back with half the time when you disappear. Even to your office, it could be like a coin, it could be a book.
So there's that. So I'm gonna show them what I did.
I have to say this is pretty close. I mean, keep going up, 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 up. Now go towards me. There you go. You're in the picture. That's pretty close. I think they did some more highlighting on they did some highlighting on the trigger, and the discs are a different color. That's about it. Yeah. Pretty much the same. But yeah. All right, you ready for events? Because I don't know how to work the graphics.
Yeah, well, we don't have a third screen here.
I know. We are working on in our emergency bunker right now, so there's only a limited amount of computing power.
We are.
So
you're just going to have to
go out of it. Okay, yep. So coming up first, we got Operation Rochambeau. This has been rescheduled to April 4th. It's in Russell, Missouri. This is an MSATO event. Where's it being held at? Just Russell, Massachusetts?
Yes.
Russell, Massachusetts. So MSATO's hanging out up there.
MA Massachusetts or Maine?
I think that, the picture's in Massachusetts right now.
Well, I don't know.
Let us know where Russell is. But if you're in the Northeast, it affects you, but it's rescheduled one way or another. Where is that?
Oh, it's the paper mill.
That's the paper mill in Russell, Massachusetts. Yes. Sorry, we're doing our best here, guys. Normally we have... we have like a teleprompter screen going, and then we have the graphic screen.
We're not in the big studio that Gino paid for. So
unfortunately, it is sitting quarantined right now.
We are actually broadcasting from my home so we can still continue to socialize.
We're going to pretend it's normal. That's what we're doing. We're pretending it's normal right now. Yep. Do the same. Coming up after that, we got East Coast Airsoft is holding the big airsoft game. This has also been rescheduled to April 19th. This is in Havre de Grace, Maryland. I know MD is Maryland.
Yes. This is their big annual event.
Yep. Have you been up there, Kaid, or is this out of your range?
No, I haven't been there. I've been to South Carolina at GTI, but
that's as far north as you've gotten.
Oh, so you haven't?
Wait, you said? Oh, I thought you said east. I'm sorry. North was Black Ops for.
Well, no, I mean
Wisconsin.
I mean, have you ever been to
Carolina?
Played airsoft in the Appalachian or Northeast region of the United
States?
States?
Yeah, there we go. That was more the question. Okay.
No, not yet.
What?
Yeah, you need to get at it.
You know, because you go up Northeast.
Gas costs money, dudes.
I know.
You get to stay with Yuck. Come on.
I know. Honestly, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Is get a chance to play.
In
with
fact,
him again.
Yuck has been right on the same path as you. I've noticed his posts have all been about hiking and getting away from civilization while this is going on. So, great minds think alike, apparently. Havre de Grace. I've heard a few things about East Coast. Maryland people love it. I'm originally I went to high school in Maryland, but I've not had airsoft experience there. But it's got a good thumbs up from the local community. So check it out. Coming up next, we got MSATO's hosting Battle at the Depot in Seneca, New York. April 24th to the 26th. We did get a question earlier about this. As of right now, it is still on and good to go, and we will keep you guys updated. If this changes, of course, we'll change it in our event segment next week. Coming up after that, we got the wonderful, the legendary Veterans for Airsoft, second annual Veterans for Airsoft charity game. This is in LaPorte, Indiana. This is Robin Hood. Did I get that right?
No.
Which one's in LaPorte?
Which one's in LaPorte?
Yeah, the name of the location.
This is at Sherwood Forest.
I was close. Robin Hood was in Sherwood Forest.
Well,
so
East Coast Airsoft is at Robin Hood Paintball.
I know. I was trying my best.
Okay. The VFA Charity Game is at Sherwood Forest in
LaPorte, Indiana. VFA, good organization. If you guys don't know, I do this speech every time.
Veterans for Airsoft.
They are all about getting veterans back into being social and doing stuff
and
getting out.
Also legendary.
They're a legendary charity. And the reason that I believe in getting veterans out and into some kind of bridge activity like airsoft is because that's how I did my recovery and got out and started being a social person again. So I believe in what they're doing. Please come out and support them. And even if you're not going to be at the game, go buy a patch because it's going to a good cause. They're doing great stuff.
Have you ever been to Sherwood Field, Kaid?
No, I've never been out that way at all.
You need to make your way more up there.
Well,
I do. I mean, that's an understatement.
like you said before, gas is expensive, dudes. Duh.
I organize all my time off that I have around Colton's scouting events and American Milsim events.
That's right. You actually have to be a dad sometimes, occasionally too, right?
We actually have
personal responsibilities.
Insider information about Veterans for Airsoft.
What's going on?
It's a very good front for Ferris to make a little side hustle money.
Colonel Verduga is going to cross some lines here that he may not be ready to cross. I just want to put him on warning about that I might reveal his location to the Ranger detachment looking for him right now if he continues to push buttons like that, just so he knows.
So Rich Kelly says legendary doesn't count. Of course, legendary counts.
So there's a difference between legend and legendary?
No, you just have to say legend. Airy.
What if I just want to say legend?
It's a legend? You could say it's a legend.
Okay.
You told us.
Is it?
Okay, can he just say legend?
He can say legend.
Okay. Or is it a legend or alleged?
No, it's not. Okay. Well, then alleged is a completely different
That's
word.
A stretch.
I think they're intoxicated enough that alleged will pass too at this point. So I'm just gonna do words like legend.
Okay, do you have a legend patch?
Oh,
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad. Speaking of legendary moves and a guy who is a legend, Rich Gully sent a giant bag of patches to my son. And I'll show you the video of him opening it.
Cool.
And just the grin ear to ear of like, I can't wait to go back to school because, of course, my son has a patch wall in his backpack. So he loves representing.
Oh, you're going to tell Gav those
friends and
are
family
meant for the International Traveling Patch Wall now?
No. Gav is starting his Colorado Springs traveling patch wall that goes with him wherever he goes.
And by the way, Colonel Verduga is calling you Merda from the Disney cartoon Brave in the chat right now.
He's calling me, wait, merda, like in Spanish? Because that's a dirty word. That's not okay.
Oh, well, he does speak Spanish.
Yeah, so I assume merda.
I was thinking he was talking about the Disney film
No,
Brave.
merda means poo-poo.
Well, we won't say that.
It means poo-poo in Spanish.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is he calling me? Yeah, he's calling
moving
me.
on. What's the next one?
He's saying I'm talking the poo-poo. That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
I will tell them where you are. I have ways. All right, what do we got next? Is this the fun to say one? Yep. Mere Tactical is hosting the Sheboygan Sanctuary Incursion 2. This is in Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. The Asylum.
Yep.
April 25th to the 22nd. This hasn't been rescheduled. It's still on.
Yep.
Mir needs to loosen up. They're taking every venue for this whole year, I've noticed. Like they have like 40 or 50 events this year or something. Like, do they have lives? Like, slow down, guys. Take a breath. Nope. Coming up after that, we got Operation Dragon Road 7. This is TCA in Dawsonville, Georgia, May 2nd to the 3rd. And this is the originally scheduled time, so hopefully it should still be on. I think
we'll be taking the compound.
I'm predicting May 1st is going to be the actual start of stuff, is what I think is a more likely date. May 1st. So that's my prediction.
Okay.
Totally unscientific. That's just my guess with how like the timelines have gone in other countries.
The COVID-19 doesn't slow Ferris, though. Did you know
it does not?
Nope, it does not slow
Well, they're
Ferris.
jungle fighters, so they've been immunized for all kinds of
they
malaria.
They have the antibodies already.
Do they?
Yeah.
Already? Uh-oh. They're biological. They're like the Toxo Vipers from G.I. Joe or something like that. Wasn't there like a biological warfare viper or something?
I don't know. Kaid collected G.I. Joes.
Timothy Green. Timmy Green. He's our G.I. Joe expert here. Let us know who was the biological warfare viper from G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. I know he's watching right now.
All right.
Coming up after that, New World Milsim is hosting Otherworld. Otherworld Milsim is hosting Downfall 6 in New Milford, Pennsylvania, May 9th to 10th. This is at the legendary
EMR.
Oh, that's right. Hopefully EMR is doing well right now.
EMR Event Park.
All our love to you guys out there, because I know you guys are shut down just like everybody else and trying to get through this. You know, that's a funny thought I didn't really think about earlier, but bigger indoor locations could actually double as like kind of like hospitals if required. When you think about all the small rooms they have.
I'm curious, Kaid, are folks going out and helping local fields like build more stuff right now?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's been offers and there's been volunteers to do that, especially with things that the fields want to do in the future. So there's been discussion around that.
Hey, you get out what you put into it.
That's absolutely right.
Yep.
In fact, actually, Ryan Dean said that Black Ops this weekend is using this opportunity to expand their town by like 5 acres or something crazy like that.
Oh, good for them.
So they're putting some time in. And hopefully, if you guys didn't know, any field owners out there, I know the government's doing super low interest loans right now for small business. So if you were looking for a time when you could shut down and do some building, this is perfect.
Grass is going to grow back in places it hasn't been in a long time.
Yep. So coming up after that, we got Conflict 6. This is hosted by Cobra Airsoft. What's the last word?
Legion.
Sorry, it's the end of the day. I'm tired. This is in Hobart, Indiana, May 15th to 17th. Still on as scheduled as of right now. Of course, we will let you. Blast Camp. Oh, that's right.
Yep. Retired Nike missile base.
That's right. That's a cool. I want to get there at some point because it just seems like a fun place to be. Very post-apocalyptic. Coming up after that, we got Dark Emergency 6. This is in Malwinkel, Deutschland. That's what DE stands for all you Luddites out there. May 14th to the 17th. What's the name of the company again? I always mess it up.
Airsoft Helden.
Airsoft Helden. I got to meet these guys at SHOT Show. These guys have been doing, this is their 8th or 9th year, something like that. They've been doing this? 6 years?
Dark Emergency 6.
Well, I meant like as an organization. They've been doing it. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, about 8 years.
And if you guys have never been to Germany, they like their regulations and their health and safety stuff. So if you're someone who runs a combat sport location in Germany and you've been doing it for this long, you got your P's and Q's put together.
They're actually stacking sea containers for the outer border of the field.
That's super cool. So yeah, if you're in Germany and you're in Europe in May and you're looking for something to do, like you got a business trip going on, pack your guns. Go out there and I don't know if you can even do that, but find a way, pack your camis and borrow a gun. Go check it out. What do we got coming up next? Mere Tactical again. All right, guys. Operation Urgent Fury, Romulus, New York. This is May 16th to the 17th. Romulus. What's in Romulus? Is that like a hospital or something? Or is this
bunch of Romulans?
That's at the Seneca Army Depot.
Oh, is this Seneca Army? Okay, so this is Seneca Army Depot is becoming kind of a hotspot for games as of late.
Yep.
So what's we got next? This is the rescheduled date for Operation Stonebreaker 2020 in Barnwell, South Carolina, May 22nd to the 24th. This is at not GTI.
Yep.
This is GTI, right?
Yep.
Okay.
GTI.
Guardian Center is the one in Georgia. GTI is the one in South Carolina.
Correct.
Just
yes,
remind myself.
Kaid has been to GTI.
So what's your opinion on GTI, homie?
I missed the opportunity to play there when there was trees. Basically, there was trees that surrounded the facility and it made it a lot different. So the year I played there was the year after that. Honestly, the interior was outstanding and incredible. Pretty easy to lock down corners and stuff like that.
So it suffers,
I really want to go back.
So it kind of suffers from a lot of the problems that some of the real-world training sites have, where they're designed for real-world bullet lengths and not airsoft ranges. So it's kind of hard to get some of those. There's always that one. I think there's always that one spot when you're playing on a post mount site that like you just don't have enough range to effectively like assault it, and so they can always just, you know what I mean? Like it's always one of the problems when it comes to those.
And a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of people schedule events for GTI that are smaller companies, and I'm like, I mean, not to knock them, but it's not cheap.
Well, I mean, if they're able to do it, more power to them.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that's the way I look at it. I hope no one gets put out of business because they don't sell out for something that has like a $30,000 down payment, because that would suck. But yeah, Operation Stonebreaker will be there. The compound will be there. I'm actually really stoked because the pandemic means I actually get to play at GTI this year, because I was going to miss this trip. I know I get to pop my cherry there for the first time and join the cool guy club. I'll have done Guardian Center, GTI, and Hood. That's kind of the trifecta.
You are
isn't it?
only allowed to operate in the hexafluoride building.
The hexafluoride building?
Oh wait, no, the rape room.
There's a rape room? Wait, no, hold on. You didn't tell me about this. Like, I get my raping shoes on. We'll go have some fun with this. You know what I mean?
You don't do the raping. You get raped because it's pitch black It's literally.
You don't know me very well, then. I always do the raping.
There's 2 ways in on opposite sides of the building,
and just is it that big open room which has like the steps that goes into a long hallway that all those videos get done on, where they always get stuck there on like the 3rd floor?
It's a graded floor, and there's nothing but piping, and it's pitch black, and there's a second level to it as well.
See, the problem is I'll be running one of those lovely new ASL Pluses, and other guys won't, so I'll be okay.
Okay.
You like that little product placement?
You got a patch in your hand there?
Does he?
I don't know. He had a patch.
Yeah. So
yes,
This one's back on for 20 seconds, 24 seconds. Ooh, I like that one.
Is that the?
Is that a glowy in the dark one?
No, it's our new team patch.
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
that's very SAS-esque.
That does look pretty cool.
That kind of reminds me of the SAS
Rainbow
patch.
6?
No, the actual SAS patch.
I know, like Rainbow Six.
They're not Rainbow Six.
They actually, yeah. Rainbow Six is real.
But they contribute members to Rainbow Six. Would Rainbow Six be like
real.
a leader than the SAS if we're going by Tom Clancy logic?
Is a leader or
extra elite? I don't know. Apparently, I always think it's funny that when fanboys talk about like special operations guys, is they don't realize they're just human beings, and they're not like superheroes. So they like rate them like in terms of like they're Dungeons and Dragons bad guys in a lot of ways. It seems like it happens sometimes. Like a SEAL could totally beat a Green Beret, and it's like, okay, what if it's a 70-year-old SEAL and a 20-year-old Green Beanie? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like we didn't establish anything there. You know, is he retired? Is he active? You know, it's stupid. Anyway, moving along. Lion Claws coming up next. This is 19, Operation Lion Claws 19. Did I get that right? Oh, Corona. Total War Operation Lion Claws 19 Total War, Victorville, Georgia, May 22nd and 24th. Of course, John Liu and company put on great atmospheric events. And this is the one in the jail. No, this is not in jail. This is in the old housing
Georgia
on the Air Force Base.
Yep.
So have you guys seen the videos with the post-apocalyptic like family housing area? It's that. Just if you're going, please be careful because there's rebar and stuff's crumbling and it just isn't made to look like it's falling apart. It literally is falling apart. So be careful while you're there and enjoy yourself. Looks like a ton of fun.
Ooh, the next one. I think.
Do you think
Kaid is finally going to get to play in the Northeast region?
Okay, so coming up next we have AMS's Eastern Front.
Please tell me you're going to command that.
This is an AMS local, New Windsor,
All
New
year,
York.
baby.
May 23rd to the 24th. Who's going to be leading the green side on that, kid?
Yours truly, always and forever.
Is there going to be another friend of the show running the tan side for that event that we know about?
I don't know who's going to run tan. I mean, most likely it's going to be John.
Yeah,
but,
I was trying to get that answer.
Yeah.
John answer.
Guardian is a friend?
He's a friend of the show. I mean, he new phoned me the other day, but like, you know, I still call him a friend.
Oh, so you text him and he's like, "Who dis? I got a new phone."
No, he did it to me on the show.
Oh,
like I tagged him and like he did it in the chat. New phone, who dis? I was like,
"Oh, that's funny.
That's messed up."
That is funny.
But yeah, guys, this is what we like to call a bridge event. It is players, experienced players, and staff
Tell
coming
us
from
what
national
an
level.
AML local.
You let us know, Kaid. You're actually the expert on this.
Local event is basically where we go with our experienced command staff and we kind of show players at a less expensive cost, maybe on a field that they're used to, what they can experience at a larger op on a national level with communication and tactics and specifically goal-oriented events. But hopefully if they come out and have a good time, and that drives them to want to go to a Copperhead where then they have like the best time of all.
Yes. And this is going to be at Zulu 24.
Yeah, man, that field looks pretty slick.
We've actually had a lot of Northeastern guests on the show in the last couple of weeks. Every single one of them gives 3 thumbs up to Zulu 24. Even another field owner says they do great things over there.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped for it.
We're jelly. We're not going to be there, but we're jelly of you getting together because that's a new experience.
Yep.
Moving right along. We got Mere Tactical again, the Kankakee Incursion. I'm going to get yelled at for this. Kankakee Incursion 2 in Kankakee, Illinois, May 23rd to the 24th. Is this the one that they need people to pre-register for that they wanted us to mention? Or is that the next one?
Let's see. Yes, this is a pre-registration only event.
So make sure if you're going to this event, you pre-register and you're squared away before you get there. You will not be allowed on if you're not registered. I'm sure that has something to do with the location and insurance. So if you are not playing, find something else to do that weekend or do your paperwork ahead of time. It's really important. You will not be processing anybody on site. Moving on to the next one, we got Centramillion in Trecien and Copan. I'm looking right at you, Verduga, saying that right to your face. This is in Blakely, Georgia, May 29th to the 31st. Now, this is Centurion's home event, the one they started with. And this is, I guess, Ferris versus someone else. And you guys in the chat are probably heard more of it than I did. But no one will tell me what's going on. And so that seems like it might be a fun event if everybody's keeping me in the dark.
The coronavirus has struck Copan. And
let's see who helps the peoples.
No, Colonel Verduga is actually helping the peoples.
I find that hard to believe. Him and his rebels wouldn't help the people. They're bad guys, right?
He doesn't command rebels. He
are you saying he's a freedom fighter?
No, he commands the FEB Federal Army of Bolivia.
Because I was about to say, because I find that depending on what side you're on, you're either a terrorist or a freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like it could go either way.
So Empire did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you're calling Verduga a terrorist or a freedom fighter?
Just depends on if he's winning or not. That's really, I think, how it's defined. If you're losing, you're a terrorist. If you're winning, you're a freedom fighter who's liberating the people. You know what I mean? Like that's just it's how it works mostly.
I don't know. He's just saying uneducated gringo. No surprise you cannot pronounce.
That was pretty good. In fact, we had one of our Spanish, not Portuguese listeners who said my Spanish pronunciation was actually pretty good.
Oh, Francisco.
Yep, because you know what? They know Spanish better than you South American.
Colonel Verduga says you cannot run an insurgency without the support of the people.
I didn't say that he was a terrorist. I'm saying that that's how people get labeled. If you win, you're a liberator and a freedom fighter. If you lose, you're a terrorist and all that other stuff. That's what I like about those words. Anyway, yeah, Centurion is this is a full immersion type thing. I've heard nothing but good things, and the guys that are hardcore fans of this company won't tell you anything about it. So
I think
that's a good sign that
Colonel
it's
Verduga
put on quite a show.
I would be willing to donate a fair amount of money to the people of Copan if you agreed to come on the show to be interviewed by the uneducated gringo sitting to my right, your left. What do you say about that? A very large sum of money.
I'll even give you pre-approval of the questions. We're gonna no gotcha questions. This will be a straight up educational interview.
Oh wait, he's saying he's going to educate you.
No, I didn't say that. I said we're going to educate the audience. Like I'm just going to let him...
I thought you were saying you were going to educate.
No, I'm going to let him present his point. Okay. I'm a fair interviewer. I think our audience would agree that I'm pretty much fair to everybody about everything.
Okay.
Except for, anybody who eats no. I was gonna talk shit about Chicago pizza, but I'll leave that for another one. Yeah, Chicago pizza is not pizza. It's just lasagna with a crust. That's all it is. It's
Colonel
not
Verduga
pizza.
Says, of course.
Yes. You're on, buddy.
All right, next up.
I shouldn't have given up so much away on that. Like he agreed really
quickly.
You're
not giving up. I'm giving back to the people of Copan.
No, I was saying I was going to give him approval of questions. I was trying to spice up the pod. He was willing to come on no matter what. I could just do this Bill O'Reilly style and yell at him the whole time. So, cool. Anyway, coming up next, Overwatch Tactics, Bristol Land Rush. This is in the legendary Black Ops Bristol, Wisconsin, May 30th to the 31st. And it looks like the shutdown is going to lead to there being a lot more playable space there and some more buildings, is what Ryan Dean told us. They're working on it right now during the shutdown. So,
do you know those guys that are running Bristol Land Rush a little bit there, Mr. Cade?
Yeah.
Overwatch Tactics. What can you say about that company?
Bunch of good people putting on good events.
And I always like to say, Overwatch doesn't do milsim. Yes, their category is milsim for what they're kind of presenting, but their events are very unique. It's like Avalon is an aggressive scavenger hunt with guns.
Yeah, why haven't you been to Avalon, Kate?
Yeah, what's up with that, dude? You're missing out.
So it was scheduled last year, and I had 2 days of vacation left, and I had to command reindeer games.
Oh.
So I had to use those vacation days for reindeer games.
Well,
so plan
decisions.
Plan ahead.
And Land Rush is their new format, if I got this right. And Valken's actually sponsoring one of the checkpoints, right?
We are.
So this is unique. I think they're doing a small raffle or not one at all. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Anybody from Overwatch in the chat. And instead the prizes are going to be like unlockables at the different checkpoints. So every 10 minutes past the hour or whatever it is.
So, yeah,
Soto Claus comes around, and if you control the checkpoint, he unlocks the box, and you get a prize.
Yeah, like we're donating ammo.
Yep.
BBs.
I think there's a gun even here and there, like buried somewhere. I think John Zero's donating some guns too.
Yep.
Like there's
That's
all
right.
kinds of great prizes. Grenades from Enola Gay, and yeah, like there's a bunch of grenades from Enola Gay. So cool, really unique experience. Please support him. Coming up next, we had our last one. Wow, that went quick. And finally, Operation Hornet's Nest in Rancho, Illinois, June 6th to 7th. This is a big boy milsim or mass airsoft. Is not holding it at their field. It's Rancho, Illinois. I saw their promo video for it with a bunch of drone footage and shots inside the hangars.
The AO is pretty cool.
It's a pretty dope place. It's very like.
I will be there.
Oh, you're gonna be there? Excellent. So we'll have a meeting of the minds finally.
Because that's not. I mean, when you look at where St. Louis is,
That's
right
like
there.
a couple hours north of me.
Yeah, he's like right there.
You could go home and shower after the game on Saturday and come back on Sunday.
Put my thumb over Kaid's house and the airfield right now on the graphic right there.
Well, it's a small graphic to be fair, and that's a big thumb. So but yeah,
Killed a man once with this thumb. If you know what movie that comes from, put it in the chat.
Mass Airsoft is hosting this. It looks like it's going to be rad. We will be there with the compound. I will be playing. Man to my left here will be doing his media thing this year. By the way, you guys are actually getting deprived of this dude's media outfit for the year, which is unique and blendy. No bright colors. He is in the game and down to get shot. Are you carrying a dead rag too, or are you just?
Oh yeah, I carry a dead rag.
You can carry dead rag. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's
But
you're
I
shootable.
purposely don't carry bandages. I make the players use their bandages on me.
You're a dick.
Rich Gully says, seeing Kaid in the little picture, in the picture-in-picture on the left reminds him when you watch a show and someone is translating in sign language.
Are we that bad that he has to translate for us? Like, can we not speak English anymore? Have we lost touch?
Legend.
That's bad. So yeah, I think we're doing the word of the day. We'll give you a new word every week, guys, because apparently Rich is stuck home and he needs help with whatever he's doing.
Dude, Jake
so.
always talks in all caps. Jake's yelling at us.
I didn't know that was yelling for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like I actually didn't know all caps was yelling until I came home from my first deployment. My wife was like, "Why are you yelling at me all the time?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't understand what." And she's like, everything is caps." And I'm like, "Oh, my cap locks was on. I forgot to turn it off." So I'm sitting in like this one of the like don't shake your kids or beat your wife briefings you go through when you come back.
Oh my God.
And this dude sitting next to me, he's like, "Look at this message. I think my wife's pissed." And it's like a paragraph of capital letters. And I'm like, "Oh, she's yelling at you." And he goes like, his response was, "You can be yelled at over text?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what capital letters use." Like, "My wife's been yelling at me for 3 years and I didn't realize it. This is bullshit." So,
oh my goodness.
Everybody learns something new here and there.
So, thank you very much, Kaid, for joining us tonight and telling us how all these wonderful teams. I think there was like 8 or more that
Could we get some love for that St. Louis scene in the chat, please? Because
they are planning for when this COVID-19 thing blows over.
And if you have a local scene that is in the same boat, please get together with all your local teams, your organizers. If they have a shop that's open when they're not open, call them up. Try to see what you can do to help. Get together as a community. This is a good example of how we can all support, all these local shops that are going to get hit so bad by this. Because I hate to say it, but I'm waiting to hear about the first closures. The people who didn't make it through this, because there's going to be some casualties from this, guys. So please support them.
Yes, there are.
Yep. Go by your local field. If they're off, reach out to them online. If they are offering gift cards for future play, I know some fields that haven't done like punch cards in the past are actually, we're going to do punch cards. You can get, normal admission is.
If you've been waiting for an excuse to buy that MOSFET, maybe buy it from them right now. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever that upgrade part that you're waiting to do.
And keep gun techs employed.
Yes.
We don't want to see any gun techs on the streets. We don't.
No, we don't.
We want them to keep working on guns.
Because there's not like a whole lot of fallback careers for that. Like, you kind of know how to work on airsoft guns and nothing else. Yeah. I found that's kind of how it works. Not talking shit about techs.
Hey, just Ben Hoochin from Guerrilla Airsoft Radio finally joined us.
Benjamin himself.
Benjamin, yes.
Benjamin.
Yes. So, big shout out to our sponsors, Valken Alliance, Enola Gay, and Elite Force Airsoft. They just help contribute to the production value of the show.
This would be a real good time to order that hater, by the way, too. Since the mail's still working.
Yes.
Get that hater delivered to you, and you can play with it in your backyard before game time. Just saying.
Exactly. And look at
Shit got serious with Kaid all of a sudden.
I know.
Wow.
I just remembered that guy in New York or whatever who was doing a YouTube video on his roof in full airsoft gear.
You know,
cops raided.
What's really funny about that is that
Yeah.
NYPD has gotten a lot more serious after 9/11. Like, I grew up in New York, and the NYPD, as long as you weren't like causing like an active problem, they didn't do crap. They were just like, you know what, we take our kickbacks, we watch the mafia guys do their thing, you guys do your thing. You know, now they've gotten really proactive in the last couple of years, so that kind of worries me.
After you say that, this is going to be a really interesting interview between you and Colonel Verduga. So, all right, everyone, stay safe.
Is it gives you the whole thing in Morse code?
Yes. Stay safe. Do the smart thing. Reach out to your local field. See if there's any way you can support them, either by helping them build up their field or pre-buy some gift cards, even your local store. Help them out. So,
and if you guys are stuck at home, post up whatever is keeping you busy on those lovely regional pages from the Valken Alliance, because that's a good way to help anybody else out who might be floundering a little bit. I'm a homebody, so I don't mind being stuck in the house. I got tons of stuff to do. I got home projects to work on. My truck needs to be taken apart.
His like one little thing changed.
I just stopped playing Airsoft on Saturdays. That's it.
He's
and I can't go to my game night on Fridays. That's it. And otherwise, my life has not changed in any way.
Fantasy grounds.
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing about 40K. It sounds like a weird way to say it, but seeing the board in front of you is the fun of the game.
Like interacting with the board digitally.
No, but like moving your guys in the terrain, and like there's something unique about having a piece of built terrain, and you have models that you're trying to fit in there and all that other stuff.
You like to see your little armies just destroyed in front of you. That's
yes. Well, that's not how it works. The flesh is weak, is all I'm going to say. You 40K fans know what I'm talking about.
All right. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, guys.
Hope you and your son stay safe. Glad you're still employed and continuing working.
10 feet, all you. 10 feet. 10 feet is what you need to stay from everybody. In fact, they're doing social distancing wrestling now, too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Remember to arrive, raise hell, leave.
But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
We will not go quietly into the night.
It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Remember this day, man, or it will be yours for all time.
What keeps you awake at night?
Nothing. I keep other people awake at night.